Championship Saturday in the state of North Carolina on so many fronts. And we welcome you back to Winston-Salem, where North Carolina high schools are crowning champions left and right. Welcome to the NCHSAA 5A women's title bout. It's going to be the Stallions and the Knights. We got an unbeaten Southeast Alamance squad going up against the darlings of the tournament. You look at the record, it tells you how good they've been in tournament action on the North Lincoln side. With that, we welcome you inside. Lawrence Joel, Veterans Memorial Coliseum, alongside my broadcast partner, the former Tar Heel, Eric Gash. Jason Patterson here with you. And Eric, we say it every time, but it's worth underscoring and repeating. Got to ring that bell that a championship moment is really what it's all about.
For sure. The first tip starts in November. That first jump ball, JP, all the sprints, all the stair laps, all the hard work that you put in over the summer, it now comes to a head. It's culminated right here at the state championship game.
We saw last night some tremendous playmakers that rise to the occasion under the bright lights. We'll focus on a couple right here that are going to be your players to rely on, which are brought to you by Riddle and Riddle. And we begin with Paylor, who you're focusing on here.
Yeah, looking at Shania Paylor, she averages 11 points per game, almost 6 assists. She has over 500 career assists, and she is the senior point guard that's going to lead this team to victory. She's been doing it all year at 29-0, and going to see if she can do it one more time.
And then you flip over to the other side. Number of different players that you could highlight here, but Allie Smith rises above the fray.
Yeah, the numbers may fool you a little bit. Allie scored 29 in their Western Regional Championship game, but she averages 18 points per game, and she's only a junior, JP, but we look for a lot of big things out of Allie today.
Now, this is a young team all the way around. They're going to be around for a while. And on the flip side, you got the Southeastern Alamance crowd trying to go unbeaten. What's it going to take for that to happen? Give us your food for thought. These are the Ingles keys to the game.
Yeah, so looking at the Stallions, they're going to have to control the paint, dominate on both sides of the glass, the offensive and defensive side, play that pressure defense. And for the Knights, they're going to have to play up-tempo. They average 72 points a game and create turnovers on defense.
Again, that's your Ingles food for thought. Those are the keys to the game, brought to you by our friends at Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. It is the pursuit of perfection on one side and a tournament run to remember on the other. What gives? We'll find out when the state championship tips off on the other side of the break.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Roofing.
Returning champs are here looking for perfection, a first-time attendee and participant with a tremendous tournament run. They're about to go head-to-head And we take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. Some familiar names from that championship run a year ago, E.
For sure. And JP, I like to mention, we highlighted Shania Paylor as, the player to watch. But the role players, Rihanna Johnson averages 15 points per game. Clara LaChapelle, 10 points per game. So we're going to look for them to carry their weight in this game.
And here's the Tatum and Atkinson starting lineup for this Knight squad that has had a tremendous run. Once they rolled into their own in tournament action, going to be Grice, Birch, Smith, Cipriano, and Black. And Tatum and Atkinson, the sponsors of our starting lineups. Tatum and Atkinson, the heavy hitters. And we got the heavy hitters here in the 5A title game. Anybody else you highlight there on that side of things?
Yeah, looking forward to it with Ashlyn Black. She averages 13 points a game, and Reese Birch 12. So the role players are going to have to step up in order for their teams to win today.
We said it's a pursuit of perfection, and we called the Knights the Darlings. You say that because when a team makes a run through the tournament, wins as many as they have in a row, that's some of the terminology you use. We'll see if they can get it done against the standard in this classification, the Stallions of Southeastern Alamance. They'll get the first crack at it, that's for sure. Knights control the opening tip. And here's a little shot that will roll off, and on the far side, there's contact on what was a second effort with Allie Smith trying to put that back up. Smith is a three-time all-conference performer. You highlighted her coming in. You talked about all the numbers she has put together, and here's her initial effort. It will send her to the line.
Yeah, attacking the glass, JP, and that's what it's going to take to control the tempo of the game and hit that glass, and she's going to do it all for them.
First of our Tatum and Atkinson free throws go down. Injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters, Tatum and Atkinson. Well, how do you get the moniker tournament darlings? You go through the 10 seed, the 7 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, and the 5 seed in succession to make your way to the championship game. And though the record's not going to grab your attention with some of the things that transpired this year, that kind of run, Eric, we call it tournament darlings, we call it Cinderella, you call it whatever you want. This is a team riding a great deal of momentum coming in.
Yeah, they ran the gauntlet. I mean, you're going through the top seeds in order to get to the state championship. And so you know that there's going to be focus, there's going to be perseverance, and that endurance that got them here, and that's what it's going to take in order for them to be successful today.
And you saw Kristen Carr leading this team to the charge. She's assisted by Tim Chandler, the manager Abigail Church, trainer Annie McGinnis, stats Brad Burnett. But Kristen Carr done a nice job with this team in focusing them and getting them here in the championship environment. And there's an over and back call, going to go the way of Coach Amy Surratt's Southeast Alamance Stallions. Amy Surratt is the reigning Mid-Carolina Coach of the Year. Again, she led this team to a championship a season ago, and the Kentucky native with those bluegrass roots looking to lead them to one you'll remember, because it's going to be an unblemished championship at 30-0 if they get it done.
Yeah, and they've been perfect all year, but the Knights may have a little something to say about that, JP.
Well, who's going to have something to say about it right now? Kendra Pierce drops home a Paramount Auto three-pointer. Just like that, it's a 5-0 run for the Knights. When you're making, and it's the point we were talking about a moment ago, this type of run through a tournament, you carry a great deal of energy with you. But there's the answer. First bucket of the championship environment. McIver, the senior. And everybody's on the board now. You know, we talk about settling into the state championship. You don't think it's as much of an issue for a Stallions team that was here a year ago, E, but there's still those moments that are needed to allow you to take a deep breath and remember it's just basketball.
Yeah, and you have to remember to do the simple thing, the little things like breathe, right? Your adrenaline's going to be high and rolling, emotions are high, and it may take a minute or two to settle in, get your breath, get your legs up under you, and settle into your offense and defensive stance.
Trying to save that in was Rihanna Johnson. It was not to be. She's one of the sophomores on this squad. Now, this is a group, because of their success last year, certainly you talk about the three at the top of the lineup for Coach Surratt, Taylor, LaChapelle, McIver, all seniors. You've got the junior Lopez. It's Johnson who's the lone young player in the starting group.
Yeah, she scored 17 points in the championship game. But there is our leader right there in Shania Paylor leading the break with the steal, and that's what it's going to take, JP.
MVP a season ago. She's back. Has this team responding as they are within one and will have the basketball.
There you go. Pressure, defense, play that pressure defense, control the paint. That's what one of the keys to the game for the Stallions in order to be able to take this championship home.
What are you seeing early between these two?
I'm seeing a lot of the speed of the game is picked up. And, you know, with North Lincoln, they score 72 points a game, only 57 for Southeast Alamance, but you can see they're picking up the pace with the steals, and they're, it looks like she's got to wait a little push there, but with the tempo on offense, they're attacking the glass.
Kind of through traffic, and eventually there is a whistle and an inbound coming underneath the bucket after the alternating possession arrow is put into effect. Southeast to end, and just a little too strong off the glass. Ashlyn Black gonna clean that up. Other end of the floor, guess who? Allie Smith, the junior guard. You said it, 1,500 points, crossing that threshold along the way this season. High Point commit. Going to be working her way to a place where some of the greatest facilities in the state exist these days, right? That High Point team on the men's side getting ready to head to the NCAA tournament a little bit later this month. Selection Sunday tomorrow, finding out where they head. And that's where she's headed to make her mark at the next level. In her hands now, on cue. Down the lane she goes. Finds an open teammate, although Grice's shot's a little short. Cipriano can't get it to fall.
Getting a lot of looks at the basket.
Well, down the lane, there was plenty of room initially for Reese Birch, and then she draws the contact. The foul call will put her on the line.
Yeah, they're attacking the basket there. Just got the arm just a little bit, but you can see that they're not afraid to attack that rim, JP.
Gonna have to if you're gonna
right.
handle this team, that's for sure. Here's the Tatum and Atkinson free throw. Tatum and Atkinson injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. They're sponsoring all our free throws in this first quarter of action. Reese Birch, a freshman. Again, opposite on the North Lincoln Knights side of things, as this is a very young team. You've got just the one senior. A lot of sophomores, juniors, even that freshman Birch in the starting unit for North Lincoln. And Eric, while they tend to an issue here, our officials are going to get together and talk it up. We can introduce you to the group out of EBOA, out of the Eastern Association. Jay Worrell, Brian Ahmad, and Rayshawn Jarman, the three handling things in this Class 5A Women's Championship game. And we say it each time, but for those who may be with us for the first time, we got some first-time participants here in the championship game. These officials are selected, their associations are selected, the individuals work their way here, and it is an honor to be able to work one of these championship games.
It certainly is. Best of the best. They've been consistent all year, making fair calls, controlling the game by staying invisible and letting the players play. So congrats to those officials that are here for this championship game.
Strong off the glass, and the Knights up the floor with it. Good start for North Lincoln. Cipriano looking for options. There's one.
I love it. I love it. Black attacking the basket.
Ashlyn Black, she's headed to Pikeville. There's those Kentucky roots on one side, just like the other we talk about with the head coach. Going to be a Pikeville product moving forward, and she's a 1,000-point scorer as well. Hit that milestone this season. Close proximity won't fall for La Chapelle. Up the floor with it quickly, Allie Smith. And she's a High Point commit. We talked about the nearly 20 points per game. She shoots 54% from the field, 6 rebounds per game, 6 steals per game to go along with all that good work in the points department. In her hands again now. She'll try a 3-ball. Won't go to match her jersey number. And rims off into the hands of La Chapelle.
Yeah, Allie, she took it off the glass and led the break down the court. You got to love it. Love the intensity, love the hustle of this team.
There are a lot of players on the North Lincoln side of things with plenty of offers and plenty of opportunities. Cipriano's another that falls in that category. We get a whistle here. We'll tell you about it as the day goes along, but they've got bright futures in this game. Speaking of Cipriano, She got offers from Murray State, Wofford, Furman, High Point, Army, Cornell. On down the list goes. App State saw her good work there. She and her teammates out front early. Fans enjoying the early afternoon hours on Championship Saturday in the Old North State. And here is the Original Grills fan cam. Elevate your grill game, Original Grills. Sponsors of our fan cam. Certainly these two elevated their game across the course of the state tournament. North Lincoln making the 76-mile, 1 hour, 20-minute journey from the Southwest. And those fans you saw from Southeast Alamance, well, it's about an hour even, 58 miles, right at 58 minutes to make the trip from the east. And they meet here for the 5A title. Good start for North Lincoln. You know, this is the first time that a Lincoln County school has been in the state championship environment since the 1980s on the girls basketball side. So yes, it's their first trip, but for that region of the state and that community, this is the first time in a while that a representative has been here.
And you imagine what that'll mean for that community, you know, if these young ladies bring home this state championship.
And they're out front 11-4 to get things started, and a little bit of trouble as Allie Smith tried to work her way toward the hoop. So there's going to be an inbound for Southeast Alamance. There's Cipriano. We were telling you about her going to break just a moment ago. Whistled here, but you saw her good work in the three-pointer a little bit earlier. College of Charleston, App State, Cornell, Furman, Wofford, High Point, Army, Murray State, all offering the sophomore, and she's got plenty of time to grow into her own. Those offers will keep on rolling in,
You better believe it. You can only imagine that Coach Carr is excited about having this young lady on the team. She's controlling the paint. She's long, got those long arms and grabbing stuff off the backboard, and she also hit that three-pointer, so you know she can shoot it from the outside as well.
She's 42% from three-point land across the course of the year, Cipriano. She and her teammates on the defensive side now. It's into the hands of Taylor again. And trying to make some positive waves in the interior. And looking to go up with it was Nevaeh Faust. You talk about young players. Here's a freshman going to work for the Stallions.
Yeah, look at the footwork. I love it. You know, she backs Cipriano down. And keep in mind, that's Cipriano's second foul, JP, and that could come into play as we progress throughout the game.
And just picked them both up in the last probably 30 to 45 seconds of basketball action. One on one into the floor, one on the other. She departs on cue, and coming into the contest for North Lincoln is Maddie Black, the junior. Two quick fouls on the sensational sophomore forward, who takes a seat for the Knights. And you see Coach Amy Surratt pouring her Stallions to rise up defensively. That was everywhere but down for Addison Bryce that time.
Yeah, and you can see that North Lincoln is wanting to push that pace and keep it going, get that scoring average up.
Wide open three from the corner, wouldn't fall. Taken right back away. Good look from the baseline to feed it. Now here's the freshman again, and she'll put it back solidly this time. Nevaeh Faust, an and one coming.
I love it. I love seeing the bigs work in the paint, JP, and she's a freshman. Look at her just attacking the basketball. Great footwork, and she throws it up for the and one.
She's got a Tatum and Atkinson free throw coming her way. The clock stopped at 1:27 left to play in the opening period. subbing in. Rihanna Johnson coming back into the contest. And nothing but the twine for Nevaeh Faust. 3 points the old-fashioned way, and 11-9 the score. Now that makes it a one-possession game. Only for an instant. How about this slice of the lane by Ashlyn Black?
Yeah, nice dish from Allie Smith, and Ashlyn running the floor. Gets the easy two.
Remember, she's headed to Pikeville. She's a 13-point per game performer. Is Ashlyn Black, another of those over 1,000 points this season for the junior in her career, of course, that is, but past that milestone this year. Eric, she provides 6 rebounds per game. She provides 6 steals per game, and she's 48% from the floor. Ashlyn Black giving you a window the last time down the floor of what she provides for the North Lincoln Knights.
Yeah, it's going to take a team effort. It's going to take the role players stepping up and having their best game of their career right here in the state championship.
Inside the final minute, into the hands of Grice. Speaking of Ashlyn Black, she has it now. Takes it to the hoop. Rebounded by Paylor. Paylor behind the back, a little trouble doing that. Now just kind of tosses it up. It's into the hands of LaChapelle and back to her.
Yeah, controlling the tempo, just backing it out, setting up the offense.
Blocked by Grice. Still 16 seconds on the first quarter game clock. It's going to stay on this end of the floor. 16.5. Paylor to trigger.
I love it, making some space in the middle.
Here's a wide open look from 3. And you're not going to leave Edwards that open without seeing that result. The freshman drives one home. Delise Edwards. And just ahead of the horn on the other end, the shot rims off. That pulled the champs to within a single point. 13-12, the separation after 1 in the title game.
I love it. I love the battle on the boards. I love how North Lincoln is pushing the pace. I love how the Stallions are stepping up.
Four field goals, a single 3, and a handful of free throws on each side as we take our first look at the Arthritis Knee Pain Center stats. Through 1 quarter of action, Arthritis Knee Pain Center, relief without surgery or opioids. Could be much more even than this,
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stat line, and they're practically the same. Just 1 point separating them.
Also giving you a glance as we get a tie-up. Possession arrow going to send it to the other end of the floor. Going to give you a glance at our ready-to-roll garage doors, points in the paint. That's as even as everything else. 6 apiece. Ready-to-roll garage doors. Raleigh's garage door experts. Check them out today, and they're sponsoring the tracking of our points in the paint. The numbers tell you just how tight the game's been. 13-12 as we wade in to the second quarter.
Yeah, in games like this, JP, it comes down to layups and free throws. You know, right now both teams are perfect from the charity stripe. Oh, wow.
What a job to gather that up and make it possible by Smith. She found another gear there.
Certainly did. I love the pace of the game. I love the, we're talking about this over the break, just the execution of the girls' game and just how precise the passes are, as we get an example right here.
Well, that was on cue for you. There's Johnson, the sophomore, able to lay it home. You talk about young players. There's one that has not been able to stay on the floor because of a couple of fouls, and that's been a key storyline in this one so far. Yep,
that's right. Cipriano has 2 fouls, and she's sitting over on the bench, and they need her presence on the inside.
Make a difference, that's for sure. Inbound coming underneath as you get a look at Coach Kristen Carr. Into the contest now. McIver. EC, as they call her, Niecy McIver, working her way back into the action here for the Stallions. There's a 3 off the rim. And a couple coming for Allie Smith as she was elevating. That's going to be a whistle against Nevaeh Faust, the freshman.
Yeah, you see Allie on the inside, and you know, not sure if she was, well, obviously she was shooting, sends her to the free throw line.
These are first see-through construction free throws of the contest. See-through construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. That's see-through construction, and she is just as true from that spot as anywhere else on the floor.
Yeah, perfect from the free throw line so far. I mean, they're 6 of 6, and if they continue that trend, it's going to be a tight game coming down to the end, JP.
It's amazing how 2 teams can come to this spot, work to this juncture in the season, from very different paths with very different narratives, yet they find themselves this tight on the scoreboard and beyond. Trying to create a little bit of separation here is Grice, but what a job to get back defensively.
That was awesome. That was an excellent hustle play there from Delise Edwards. That was fantastic hustle.
Going to go out of bounds and will belong to the Knights, but that looked like a sure bucket for Grice. And Edwards said, not so fast.
Yeah, it's a great hustle play, JP. I mean, you know, she threw it away. She did not give up on it. She chased her down, swiped at the ball. It was a clean break. Established her feet inbounds, headed the other way.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you hesitate because you think, well, if I don't get it just perfectly, a foul could be called, perhaps even a flagrant. Not the case. She was dialed in on one thing, and that was snatching away the basketball. Speaking of foul calls, here's a whistle. One coming your way here. That's going to be a foul on McIver. Her second personal. So you kind of keep track of some of those early foul issues that are mounting. McIver the first for Southeast to pick up a couple. Enough of a window to fire that 3. And firing away on it, Maddie Black. Able to drive this home for North Lincoln, and the lead grows on that Paramount Kia of Asheville 3-pointer.
Stepped right into it like she's been doing it all year, JP.
The junior making her presence known in some key minutes in the state championship environment. Now they fight for the rebound underneath. That'll roll off the rim, but a chance to go to the line is coming for La Chapelle.
Yeah, great battling on the inside. Gonna have to win the paint. Whoever's gonna win this game is gonna have to win the paint, JP.
La Chapelle to the see-through construction free throw line, and she will connect on the first. Reminder, the Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report coming your way at the intermission. We'll have a special interview with Hugh Tucker, the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. First half highlights, a whole lot more coming your way. A part of the Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. La Chapelle, good for the first, sees the second rim out. She's a 3-time all-conference, all-district performer and a Converse commit. Converse college or university now. They're in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where she'll be headed. 1,000 career points, 800 career rebounds for La Chapelle. Her teammates on the move now. And that was off the leg of Johnson, it seemed. It'll belong to the Knights.
I love the hustle from both teams, JP. They're not giving up on the basketball. And there we see Allie Smith running down and knocking it off of her leg. That's a great hustle from both sides.
You heard a cheer a moment ago when we were talking about halftime and walking you through what you're going to see at the intermission. That was because Cipriano came back into the game.
Right.
11 is out there in these moments. The super sophomore for North Lincoln into the contest with 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, and if you're the Stallions, you're going to go at her because you know she's going to be protective, trying not to get that third foul.
She's going to zip a pass out top to Ashlyn Black. Two shots coming for Ashlyn Black, two-time all-conference performer. You got Allie Smith, the three-time all-conference performer. You got Cipriano with all those accolades we talked about. And here's another all-conference player going to the line.
Yeah, I love how she, played through the contact, protected the ball, and at least got it up to the rim.
Her see-through construction free throw rolls right over the front of the iron and in. Your contractor of choice on the OBX see-through construction. That's C with the spelling you would expect for the Outer Banks. SEA, see-through construction. Sponsors of our free throws in this second quarter. Disrupted. In fact, straight up blocked by Allie Smith. A part of her game you don't talk a lot about necessarily for all the shooting prowess and the 6 rebounds, the 6 steals. She'll also step in there and swat one away.
Yeah, and our players to watch going right at each other. I love it, JP.
A lot of time left in this first half. 4:22 left to play. Here's a 3 ball. That will go as well. Maddie Black shooting the lights out from the perimeter. She has another Paramount Kia of Asheville three-pointer, ParamountAuto.com, where you can check them out. Certainly everybody in the building checking out the skills for Maddie Black.
There's a sharp shooter in North Lincoln by the name of Maddie Black. That's the second 3 of the game.
Allie Smith. The other thing you notice, there's going to be a reach foul here. Going to go against Paler, I believe. Yep, it is going to be on Paler, her second. But a comfort level for the North Lincoln Knights as they have pushed out front 23-15 in pursuit of the crown in North Carolina. Our broadcast presented by Riddle & Riddle continues right after these messages. This championship week at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Showdowns. What a week it has been. So many plays to bring your way. We're going to have one more selected as the Akeem Anastapulo play of the game before our time is done. You want to stick around post-game for that. And also the Riddle & Riddle player of the game. Riddle & Riddle, when justice counts, sponsors of our player of the game. And Akeem Anastapulo. Don't scream, call Akeem. You've seen the number on the screen throughout. And that'll be the sponsor of our play of the game. Have we seen it? Will we see it? A lot of basketball left to determine that. Here comes the inbound for a Knights team. We were talking about during the break, Ian, going to break, just what comfort level there has seemed for this group. No matter where they are on the floor, it's a we belong here, watch us work approach. And here's a tie up. going to send it the other way. But they've quietly built an 8-point lead here in the first half.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it, JP, but they're just playing the game steady, plodding away. And once again, they're the Cinderella, the darlings of this tournament. They've run the gauntlet, and here they are in the state championship looking to cement that trophy for their community.
Seed-wise, yes. You look at talent-wise, ability-wise, player-wise, certainly a very loaded roster all the way around in terms of talent, and they are showing it here today. You know, if you didn't know any better and you kind of threw the records out and said to somebody, all right, which team's the defending champion that's been perfect this year, and which team's the team that's here in the environment for the very first time trying to snatch away the title, you might feel like the roles were reversed based upon what we've seen in this first half.
Indeed, and you know, North Lincoln's coming out and they're making their case for state champions.
3:09 left in the first half, and all kind of basketball left to settle this, and you know what a machine the Stallions of Southeast Alamance have been the last couple of years here in North Carolina. So expect this to tighten up again, that much is sure. Right now, North Lincoln Knights looking to run again. Looks like there was a major collision out top, and appeared as if Johnson got the worst of it. But she's going to continue.
I love it. The refs are letting them play, and they're going at it, CP. This is like a heavyweight bout, one blow after another, and nobody's flinching just yet.
Inside, all kind of real estate. Yep, she's okay. Brianna Johnson lays it home. If she was the one on the other end of the floor, got the worst of that collision, but she was able to steady herself and make the bucket.
Yep, she was able to sneak behind that zone.
And another tie-up. How many of those have we had? Got a substitution coming as Natalie Lopez, the junior, departs. Also coming into the contest is Nevaeh Faust. She's going to be back. And she's going to come in for La Chapelle, who departs. So 15. McIver out there. Taylor. A breather for La Chapelle. It's Johnson who remains on the floor as well. Front of the iron for Ashlyn Black. And a foul called on guess who? Cipriano. Remember, she was in there with those two and picked up her third a long way away from the basket.
Yeah, it looks like the feet got tangled up, and she took a foul. And yeah, that's number 3 for, and that could prove to be pivotal, JP, as she has to take a seat on the bench.
The sophomore going to be benched, no doubt, for the last 2 and change in this quarter, with 3 fouls, and that's an emerging storyline for a North Lincoln team right now in control by 6. 2 minutes remaining in the opening half.
Yeah, look for Nevaeh's presence in the middle there, JP, as you see it. That she's going to hit that glass. She's going to pound the glass, and that's what it's going to take right there to play up tempo and control that paint.
A relentless approach. It's going to be a first personal on Maddie Black, and it will mean see-through construction free throws for Nevaeh Faust. First of them rolling off the front of the iron. Well, we're about 2 minutes away now from the Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. You'll hear from Q Tucker, the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. First half highlights, stats, a lot more coming your way at the half. Boy, a couple of tough shots. Both had potential, but neither fell. Taken away by Paylor, and it looks like Ashlyn Black is going to be whistled for the foul.
Yeah, that pressure defense, JP. Paylor's staking her claim, saying, hey, I'm not going to be denied today.
Second personal on Ashlyn Black. The North Lincoln team having doubled up Southeast Alamance 10-5 in this quarter. Sees the lead at 6.
Yeah, they're going to have to get something going on the offensive side, JP. They're playing that pressure defense like we talked about at the beginning, but they're going to have to see the ball going through the bucket just right on cue.
Well, you called for it. Guess who? Shania Paylor getting the job done. It's the senior leader who comes away with a much-needed bucket to cut it to 4. Just over a minute to play. in what has been an entertaining first half of action.
Indeed.
Ashlyn Black said, "Give me that," then worked it to the corner where Edwards was waiting to say, "I don't think so."
Yeah, perfect timing, and almost was able to get it back a little too far out of bounds for her.
It's right into the hands of LaChapelle. She looks out front, McIver. They're gonna have to slow it up and reset. In fact, that was nearly straight taken away by Allie Smith. Another tie-up, but the alternating possession arrow is with Southeast Alamance, so it stays with the Stallions.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of hustle plays here, JP. That was a great hustle play from Allie Smith there to get back on defense and tie her up.
Brianna Johnson back into the game, and Nisi McIver departs. Be an important three, and it goes. And she's so excited by it, she turns to the bench and says, "Hey, did you see that? Edwards rainbows one home for a Paramount Kia of Asheville 3.
I love it. They're creating memories, JP, that will last a lifetime.
That cuts it to a single point of separation in the final seconds of the half. Thought about another right there.
I thought she was going to launch it up. Oh, wow, nice.
High to the off the window for Paylor. Look who just went out front. Southeast Alamance with the advantage. And another takeaway. The closing seconds of the half, a championships type surge for the reigning champions of Southeast Alamance. And they're up 24-23 with the basketball for the final shot.
Selling in from Nevaeh. Oh, almost going in.
Blocked away by Maddie Black, and it'll be a 1-point separation. Not the way you probably thought. A surge down the stretch in the first from the reigning champs.
You gotta love it. They have been taking those body blows, taking those haymakers, but they still are in the game and up one going into the halftime.
Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report coming your way on the other side of the break.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the state championship high school basketball games. Joining us is our long-standing partner all the way from Ingles Markets, Miss Melissa Level. Melissa, are you loving these excellent basketball games?
I love it. What a great season it's been, and the best of the best is right here now on television.
Best of the best is right. Now let's talk about that long-standing and robust partnership between Ingles and high school championship athletics. What all does that entail?
It's just absolutely wonderful to be able to connect with all the schools within our region. You know, we're in 6 states, and so we have Friday Night Lights with football, we do basketball, we have softball, even some Olympic style sports, and we go all the way up through college, and then of course some minor leagues. But we just love that high school spirit and the fun with that. A lot of those players work with us. A lot of their parents have shop at our Ingles, so it's kind of like a big family coming to watch all of them play, right? So we love that.
We'll love it as well. Melissa, as always, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Thank you.
All righty, let's get back to the game, folks.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Championship week is always a special time for high school athletics in North Carolina. Joining us now is NCHSAA Commissioner Q Tucker to talk about what this event means for student athletes across the state. Commissioner Tucker, Championship week is finally here. What does this event mean for the student athletes who have worked all season to get to this stage?
All of the teams that are playing this week are regional champions. And so they enter this week as already a champion. And now they're trying to, put that cherry on the top, so to speak, and go home with a state championship.
This year's championships feature 16 games across 8 classifications for both boys and girls. What went into the decision to structure the championships this way?
A couple of years ago, the membership voted to amend our bylaws so that you could have no more than 64 schools in a classification. Now, it would have been very easy to stop at perhaps 6 classes, but at the rate we've been adding new schools, we would very quickly needed the membership to amend the bylaw again so that we could have more than 64 teams in a class, or we'd have to go ahead and have more classes. So the recommendation to our board of directors was that we go ahead and go to 8 classes, and that would give some flexibility in terms of adding new schools.
How does that expanded format create more opportunities for schools and student athletes across the state?
Because we have more schools that are getting into the playoffs than would have ever been in the playoffs, and they're able to make a deeper run. And that's exciting for those schools as well as for those communities.
For many of these athletes, this is the biggest stage they've ever played on. How does the association work with schools to prepare them for moments like this?
They needed to know, where your team will unload and how you get into the arena, what your dressing room situation will be like. Lawrence Joel Coliseum will be the largest arena they have been in for some of them. And so we just try to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are in place for the coaches to be able to share with the athletes.
When the final buzzer sounds on championship weekend, what do you hope every student athlete walks away remembering about this experience?
We want you to play hard. We want you to play to win, but we want you to do that and have fun so that you walk away and you think, we won, it was great. Or we were runner-up, but it was great. And I had a great time with my teammates. For some of them, it would be the last time that they put on that high school jersey because they're seniors. So we want them to go away with those memories that will last a lifetime.
Commissioner Tucker, thanks for joining us, and congratulations to all the teams competing this week.
Thank you very much.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Stallions and the Knights, they just go together, right?
There you go.
Separated by a single point here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We welcome you back by taking a look back at this first half of action. And Eric, it was met with a couple of different runs that have these teams right on one another's heels.
Yeah, some ebbs and flows. We've seen some high-pressure defense. We've seen attacking on offense from both sides with both of these teams, and they're doing a fantastic job fundamentally in hitting the boards and creating turnovers.
Look at some of the individual performers who've made their mark on this contest. There's a number of different scorers. Baylor, obviously, the highlight performer. She has 6. The bucket's coming from a little bit of everywhere for Southeast Alamance. And for North Lincoln, well, a number of key contributors as well. You've got 6 points from Smith, 6 points from Maddie Black on a couple of big made threes. Same thing for Ashlyn Black with 6 points in the contest. That's really what you notice. And these highlights bear it out. So many different contributors on both sides.
Yeah, the role players on each team, they're stepping up on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively. And you see here that it's practically even across the board, just looking at the free throws. Let me see here. The Stallions have missed 3 free throws. North Lincoln is perfect from the charity stripe.
Let's look at our numbers brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Our stats for the entire first half of action. Arthritis Knee Pain Center relief without surgery or opioids, and we turn our attention now to the points in the paint. That's where a little bit of separation is starting to be created. Our ready-to-roll points in the paint.
And the big difference is that number 11, Cipriano, is in foul trouble. She has 3 fouls, so she had to sit some during that first half. And so we'll see if Nevaeh will continue to hit the glass. Nevaeh fouls there for the Stallions, and see if she can give her team some second chance opportunities.
Send them a message to come on down and take a look at this 5A title game. 24-23 our score at the break. Our broadcast of the second half, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle, will be underway when you return to Winston. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the site of the 2026 North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championships, and it is Championship Saturday all across the Old North State. Good one brewing here, 24-23 as we're set to begin the third quarter. Always like to talk about adjustments.
Yeah.
What do you see these two teams needing to do if they're going to keep the crown or claim the crown?
Yeah, I think the Stallions need to keep it up. You know, they missed 3 free throws. That will put them up by 4 as opposed to just 1, JP. But they're playing some great pressure defense, and so I'm going to tell them keep it up. You know, Coach Surratt, keep up the pressure. And if I am North Lincoln, I'm going to say, hey, we need to continue to push the pace, pound the glass, and limit those turnovers.
Cipriano is on the floor to begin the third quarter with those 3 fouls for North Lincoln. The sensational sophomore who has helped lead this squad. All those offers coming in. Plenty of time to see further opportunities roll her way in an outstanding career that is already underway. Here's Ashlyn Black driving toward it. And here's another tie-up. A lot of that, the basketball has been contested on both ends of the floor. This is going to be Stallions' possession.
Yeah, and you see there, you know, Black attacking the ball, attacking the rim, and number 15 there, let me see here, that's McIver attacking the basketball. So, yeah, they're doing a lot of attacking out here, JP.
3 from the far side, won't go down. Attempt at what would have been our first Paramount Kia of Asheville three-pointer of the half. Straight taken away by Natalie Lopez. Out front to Paylor with a head of steam, and Paylor lays it home. This team, remember, surged down the stretch in the first half to claim the lead after trailing the majority of the basketball game.
Yeah, and looking to continue that same trend, JP. Creating some turnovers on defense. That's exactly what they need to do to separate themselves.
On the move again. Off the glass, too strong, but there's a foul call. And And a chance to go to the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line is coming. That one picked up by Maddie Black. I believe that's just the second personal on Black. And the first whistle against the Knights in this third quarter. Going to send Clara LaChapelle to the line. Senior, 3-time all-conference, all-district performer. We told you she's headed to Converse. 1,000 career points, 800+ career rebounds. Talk about a contributor. She's one of the all-conference performers returning for the reigning champs. You know, that group of seniors, Paylor, LaChapelle, who was just at the line and knocked those down, MacIver, pretty impressive group to have on the floor consistently.
Yeah, they've known perfection this year. JP at 29-0 and looking to continue.
Here's Ashlyn Black on the other end of the floor drawing contact. So she'll go to the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. This is going to be against MacIver, second on her.
Yeah, just instead of going straight up, she came down and came across her arms and, yep, got her that foul.
Tatum and Atkinson injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters of Tatum and Atkinson, sponsors of our free throws in this third quarter. The lead 4. Make it 3. Nothing but the twine for Ashlyn Black on that Tatum and Atkinson free throw.
And the Knights are perfect from the free throw line, 10 for 10, JP.
Isn't that something? So much of a difference made when you can be effective at the charity stripe. Answer on the other end of the floor, though.
Yep, that's Rihanna Johnson, averages 15 a game.
Here's a 3. Won't go. Back into the hands of Black. She puts it back. Rolls it home. Quickly hops up, ready to go play D.
Yeah, I love it. Black brought her A game today, JP.
Ashlyn Black already in double figures with that bucket. And she's the first person, worth mentioning, she's the first person on either side to reach double figures in the contest. That's how evenly distributed the point scoring has been.
And JP, just as important, she just picked up her third foul.
Yep. Ending up with a third personal, and now you got a couple you got to keep an eye on with some foul trouble. You know the spot Cipriano was already in. Well, a reminder that prior to the conclusion of this contest, or actually probably right after it, we'll hand out superlatives. Part of that, the Akeem Anastopoulos play of the game. Injured, don't scream, call Akeem. Dial 800-ALL-7s. That's the message from Akeem Anastopoulos, who will sponsor our play of the game. Tatum and Atkinson free throw for MacIver. And it goes. Wow. Keep in mind that Kristen Carr and company now have to worry about a couple of their key players in some foul trouble after that sequence.
Yeah, and Black had to go to the bench. Once again, she has 3 fouls.
She has 3. Cipriano has 3. Can't really afford to contest this. And you see the difference right there.
You definitely see the difference. The challenge was a little bit different. Oh, we have another turnover here.
Right back into the hands of Paylor. She knows what to do with the basketball. Cipriano comes down with this. Hangs on to the handle. They say she kept the hand on top. And feeds one inside to Grice. So all of a sudden, the reigning champions starting to look like they found a rhythm.
That's right. And that old momentum seems to be on the side of the Stallions right now, JP. And I tell you what, they are looking to impose their will on the Knights.
Basketball out top in the hands of the point guard, Paylor. 1,000 point scorer, 4-time all-conference. Gives it off to her teammate. And Lopez tried a 3 that wouldn't fall. Lopez, one of the first out of the locker room earlier, practicing those 3s. Yeah. We'll see how she ends up connecting on them as we go down the stretch here. That hits the backboard as LaChapelle was trying to find somebody to deliver that to.
I love how they're attacking the ball. You know, the Stallions they're getting on the floor, they're getting after it, and that's what's going to have to happen. Because once again, this Knights team averages 72 points a game. And so right now, they're going to have to continue to turn up the heat on defense.
Ellie Smith looking to become involved, and she goes around the world to Grice, who ends up seeing it drop home. Addison Grice, the junior, with a memorable bucket.
Nice. Yeah, like she was behind the backboard with that one, that old school finger roll.
Johnson, whirling dervish through the lane. Falls off the other side of the back of the iron, but there for the putback is McIver. And how about this from the corner? Reese Birch able to knock down a Paramount Kia of Asheville three.
Yeah, Birch averages about 12 points a game. She's going to need to step it up and hit a few more of those, JP, to get them back in it.
Keever goes toward the hoop. Won't fall. Gathering things up, Cipriano under control.
That was a nice gather, nice body control, as well as being able to get that ball up in the hole.
It reminds you of Rafferty, right? Get the puppies in order.
That's right.
She certainly did on that trip down the floor. You talk about broadcasters, and putback is there for Akiba again. We should mention here at Wake, heavy hearts as they continue to mourn the loss of one of the great gentlemen in our business. Of course, Dinger, who was the long-time analyst for the Demon Deacons, and so certainly we think about him on a day like this. Loved good basketball like we're witnessing right now, and gave a good portion of his life to it. Was a long-time analyst for Stan Cotton on the Deacons Radio Network, and they thinking about him here, and we're certainly thinking about him, all of us in this business and those who love this sport. Big time for the Deeks, big time in the state of North Carolina. Always will be remembered by Deacon fans and basketball fans everywhere.
That's right. Condolences, and great man.
Loved this sport, gave so much of his life to it. Relish days like this. You know what? This game getting all the more interesting as we push toward the final 2.5 of the third quarter. Just when you think you know which way this one might be trending, you step back and glance at the scoreboard and find that it's going the other direction. There's a lot to be determined here.
That's right. North Lincoln regained the lead and just lost it again, and here we are knotted up once again at 39.
Back even at 39. On cue, laid home for a tie score at the 2-minute mark, even in the third.
I love, you can see the determination on both of these teams, JP. Nobody wants to give in. It's like a heavyweight bout, taking body blow after body blow.
Boy, Lopez nearly got it to go from three-point land, and La Chapelle nearly got it to go from right underneath the hoop, but neither of them fell. We stay tied. Underneath, everywhere but down for Grice. Suddenly the buckets have the lids back on them. Hard to come by. The point that would separate these two, knotted at 39.
Oh, I love the intensity. There we go. Get a timeout. Regather yourself, and here we go.
Fans needed it if nobody else. Catch your breath. 39 all with just over 80 seconds to play in a wild third quarter of the Class 5A state championship game on the women's side. Our broadcast presented by Riddle & Riddle will continue right after this. You think they're enjoying this highly engaging, incredibly entertaining basketball game? The Original Grills fan cam tells you everything you need to know, regardless of what colors they're wearing. What shade of blue, right, in this one you happen to be involved in. Our Original Grills fan cam showing you just how these fans are elevating their game. You can elevate your grill game with Original Grills. 1:21 to go, third quarter, no separation between the reigning champions, the perfect on the year Southeast Alamance Stallions, and a North Lincoln Knights team with all this talent that has rolled through the state playoffs like a steamroller. And as we said, Stallions and Knights just seem to go together. Who's going to separate themselves? Right now, Johnson, the sophomore, lays home one to give the lead back to the champs. How about this? They're going to wave it off offensive. And that is going to be a fourth foul picked up. That's a huge call. Not only does it negate the 2 points in the and one, the call going this way, means things get a little tougher on the fouls front.
Yeah, because you may have to get her out, but right now, if you're the Stallions, you're going to go right at her and try and get Ashlyn out of this game right now with that fifth foul, because she has 4. She's going to have to come out of the game for her.
North Lincoln thought they had just secured a potential lead right there with a trip to the line coming. Not to be inside the final minute. And this is tapped away. Guess who's doing the good work now? Allie Smith, the junior leader, and the 3-time all-conference performer, the 1,500-plus point scorer, comes to life to equalize.
Wow, that would have been a huge swing right there had that been an and one, but there you go. Allie Smith proving why she is going to be playing at the next level.
Jump the pass route, averages right at 20 a game. You see how well she shoots it, up over 50% on the year. And just a tremendous performer. Picking her spot to even the score at 41 all. Well, we will have our Riddle and Riddle player of the game. She's certainly a candidate if it ends up going the Knights' way. That'll be selected post-game for you, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle, our player of the game selection coming your way. 32 seconds remaining here in the third. Break down where we sit with 41 all.
Yeah, just got to be smart. I mean, we're knotted up right here. If I'm the Stallions, I'm going to play for one shot. Why rush it? Why take a chance on it? But yeah, just play for one shot and go at number 11 right there.
Of course, she's referring to Cipriano, who is still on the floor. And a little bit of foul trouble. Much like Ashlyn Black, who had to depart after the offensive foul call a moment ago. And guess who disrupted that? Going for broke, Cipriano, and she has the takeaway for her team, does not get the shot up ahead of the horn, but she prevents Southeast Alamance from taking the lead. What 3 quarters of basketball have provided have just been an appetizer for what's to come. It's going to be 1 quarter for the title in 5A. The numbers speak for themselves, certainly the two numbers at the top of your screen as we give you a glance at the Arthritis Knee Pain Center statistics through 3. Relief without surgery or opioids, that's Arthritis Knee Pain Center. What a remarkable contest this has been. We show you the points in the paint. These are the ready-to-roll garage doors. Points in the paint, Raleigh's garage door experts ready to roll. And those numbers, pretty impressive.
Yeah, keys to the game. I said for Alamance, they have to control the paint, and they're doing it right now.
Just became an 8-minute season between the Stallions and the Knights. An 8-minute season to settle the 5A Women's Championship.
Yep.
As they begin the fourth quarter with no separation. Again, setting the stage for you. You've got a reigning champion Southeast Alamance Stallions squad, a perfect 29-0 on the year. You got a North Lincoln Knights squad that has rolled perfectly through the state tournament and is here for the very first time, looking to claim its very first crown. Something will have to give over the final 7:38. It'll start at the see-through construction free throw line for Lydia Cipriano. You know, she's a great perimeter shooter, 42% from three-point land. Has this rim out on her, but the sophomore has been solid. That is the first miss from the free throw line for North Lincoln's Knights today. It's been one of the strengths of their game, and she comes right back and uses nothing but the twine to knock home the second.
And you notice the aggression that she had on offense, JP. We noticed the last quarter, she's kind of timid on the inside, on the defensive side of the board. Just hands straight up, not really going after any blocks, but offensively, she's ratcheting it up a little bit.
Well, and you get a few more minutes behind you here, a little deeper into this one. She stays in that three-foul scenario, she'll be able to unleash a little more defensively. Southeast Alamance trying to do that, unleash a little offensive prowess in the interior. They will. Take another look at this.
First time we're seeing that emotion from Paler. Look at that. As she puts it up, plays through the contact there, and she says, "Ah, mama, here I am."
And one coming, the see-through construction free throw opportunity. Your contractor of choice on the OBX see-through construction. And around the world it goes. We've seen a lot of that today. Yeah. Stays a one-point basketball game.
Look at the defense. I love it.
Taylor takes it back away. Can she chase it down? Not in time to put things in order. Looking ahead. Birch. A little too deep under the bucket on that end as well. Well, every possession critical as we come down the stretch in a 43-42 basketball game here in the Triad.
Layups and free throws, JP. Layups and free throws is going to come down to that. The intensity is picking up. The focus is picking up with 6.5 to play.
Sense of urgency.
Yep.
When it comes to your lifetime dreams and your season-long goals. Gathered up by Birch. Standing by at the scorer's table, Nevaeh Faust looks to come back into the game momentarily. Birch will try a three. Nothing but net.
That was huge. She stepped up.
On the Paramount Kia of Asheville three-pointer, and you said it, E. Big time three.
Big time three. She stepped up, stepped right into it, JP.
45-43, the North Lincoln Knights, who led the majority of the first half, though they trailed at the intermission thanks to a Stallions run down the stretch. Stallions respond. Brianna Johnson with a bucket.
And we're knotted up once again at 45 with 5:40 to play.
Here come the champs. Looking to break the tie. Paler sees it roll off the rim. And that's out of the grasp of Cipriano on the toss from her teammate. It'll be inbound by the Stallions near side. Coming into the contest, Nevaeh Faust. We told you she was standing by. You've been impressed with her good work in the interior today.
Certainly have, JP. She's going to have to hit those boards and see if she can get Cipriano into foul trouble once again and get that fourth foul on.
Timeout called with 5:26 left to go. Both these teams want to talk it over. Take us inside these two huddles right now.
Well, right now, you know, you're knotted up. So if I'm the Stallions, I'm saying, hey, we got to go at Cipriano. We got to get her in trouble, all right? And you're going to tell Paler, push the pace, go right at her and get Nevaeh, she's going to back you up on the boards there. And if I'm North Lincoln, if I'm Coach Carr there, I'm going to say, hey, girls, we need to settle down, get a shot inside out. So you're going to force it inside. If there's nothing, pop it back out to one of our three-point shooters and see if we can get some momentum going.
5:26 for the season now. Stallion squad coming in 29-0, and Coach Amy Surratt going to challenge them one more time. We talked about the Kentucky roots, the bluegrass roots of the Kentucky native, the work she's done here in the state of North Carolina, well documented, leading this team to a championship a year ago, trying to make it back-to-back and get that perfect season with the finishing touches placed on it. And for North Lincoln, the Knights, they break the huddle from Kristen Carr, having clung to one another in the locker room across the course of this season, and rolling through the North Carolina High School Athletic Association playoff bracket, knocking off 10, 7, 2, 3, and 5 to get here, trying to unseat the champs under the brightest of lights. It'll stay on this end of the floor. You talk about the season runs and beating Eastern Alamance for the conference and the conference tourney for the Stallions standing out, beating that maiden team we saw 86-77 in the regular season for North Lincoln, team we saw the strength of yesterday, a team that won a crown yesterday, and then that run through the playoffs with everybody in the top 10 that they knocked off along the way. 4 games in 6 days at one point. So what they have to do here today, very much still manageable. How about this relentless effort underneath, and nothing will go. There's a whistle and it'll head to the other end.
And they are pounding the ball on the inside. JP going right at Cipriano, trying to get that 4th foul. I love the effort. I love it. Both teams are battling. Both teams are trying to box it out. They realize that their season comes down to this.
And the sophomore stayed as straight up as possible underneath to preserve her situation. Not becoming as much of a factor now as we close in on 4:42. She's able to kind of turn it loose a bit. Here's a foul as Allie Smith was working through traffic. This going to go against, is that going to be Paylor they're going to whistle here? Let's see.
I think it's
it is not.
I think it's number 3. I think it's a Faust there.
Yep, going to end up being Nevaeh Faust.
And as you hear the crowd reacting, they don't think it was a foul. the Alamance fans behind us and all throughout the stadium, but we don't have the advantage of instant replay or replay here in high school.
The see-through construction free throw goes down for Allie Smith, and Smith able to knock down another. Again, just one free throw off the mark today, as they have made nearly 15 of them along the way in this contest. She has 14 points to lead her squad. 4.5 to go. The lead 2, and the basketball coming the Knights' direction. The foul on Faust a moment ago, giving her 3. As you're tracking the foul scenario the rest of the way. 4:22 to go. 1 bucket between them. Smith off the mark. She's going to be whistled for the foul as she tried to battle it out with Paylor. There's your 2 players to watch coming in, right tangled with one another.
And you see that Smith is taking the offense on her back, and she's driving. She's being more aggressive the last 4 minutes than we've seen all game.
That's just her second personal, by the way. No real worries there at the 4-minute mark.
Now Black is back in. You want to go at her as well if you're the Stallions.
She's got 4 fouls. Remember, Cipriano for the longest time was the point of concern with 3. Ashlyn Black back into the contest, 4 on her account. And she's the only player on either side in that kind of foul trouble. Timeout being called for. Kristen Carr wanting to call her team over. 4 minutes even remaining in the basketball game. Just a basket separating them. Well, it looks like Kristen Carr in part called this timeout to have a conversation with our officials.
Yeah, it gave Allie Smith her 3rd foul.
Yes. Smith's got 3. You've got 3 on Cipriano. You've got the 4 on Ashlyn Black. Now, 4 minutes. It's not like you've got a whole lot of basketball left, but Boy, one tough whistle here could change the personnel grouping for
It certainly could.
the Knights. Certainly if it's on 23 at some point. Stallions to inbound. Tips it inside, underneath. Baylor looked for a window, wasn't there. Faust fighting for it inside. Taken away by Ashlyn Black. You'd never know she was playing with those four. Chased down and trying to save it was Birch, but a little too strong on that earlier pass. Catch your breath. This one is surging toward a memorable finish in Winston. 47-45 as the Knights look to strip the crown away from the reigning champs. We'll have the balance of this one on the other side of the break. Just 3:45 remaining in the high school basketball season at the 5A classification on the women's side. These fans experiencing everything they came for and then some. The North Lincoln Knights and the Southeast Alamance Stallions. Stallions looking for a perfect campaign. A 30-0 crown, back-to-back titles here in North Carolina. And the Knights looking to snatch away a title in their first ever trip. How about this feed inside? And Faust was able to turn her body toward the hoop. Now you hold your breath to see who this is on with the foul scenarios in effect. And it is going to go against Ashlyn Black, which will end the juniors' afternoon. So Ashlyn Black picks up her 5th foul. What has been a tremendous effort for her today will come to a halt at the 3:32 mark.
Yeah, that was huge, JP. With 4 fouls, you know they're going to attack her and go right at her. And I would imagine they're going to do the same thing for Cipriano, only that she has 3, right? And but they're going to attack her, try and get her out of the game as well.
3:32 to go. A couple of key see-through construction free throws that could tie the game. This first one off the mark. Boy, that reaction tells you how critical each one of these opportunities is going to be down the stretch.
Yeah, points are hard to come by, and they're free right here. That's why they're called free throws, and you got to capitalize on them.
Second one rattles home. Good recovery there by Nevaeh Faust. Freshman. It's heaven spelled backwards, Nevaeh. One of these two teams looking for a little basketball heaven when it comes to a championship moment to remember. 3:20 and downward. Cipriano still in the game, still making a difference with a key Paramount Kia of Asheville 3.
I love when she runs down the court backwards, holding up the 3, JP, saying, I'm a sharpshooter in North Lincoln.
You know, we make that reference a moment ago. This can't match eternity, not even close, but a lifetime moment that these players, these communities, these coaches will remember something specially, and it's right there for the taking.
Absolutely, and not just the players, but the administrators. Oh, wow, and there is and one.
They're going to love this for the Stallions. Shania Paylor again, the senior, rises to the occasion. Who can forget her performance in this environment a year ago on this floor? And again, she stands tall when it matters most.
That's right, a 360 bank shot from the elbow. That's just how you draw it up in the sandline.
Here comes the and one, a see-through construction free throw that rattles down. 2:52 and downward it goes. in a 50-49 contest now. Cipriano draws the foul, and she will go to the line. You know, we've reached the point now where Cipriano not having to worry quite as much.
Yeah.
The foul situation kind of alleviated. They lost Ashlyn Black to it, but when it comes to Cipriano and Smith, you know, the training wheels, if you want to call it that, the governors, if you want probably a better terminology, and we're talking about Knights and Stallions, maybe the bridle, off now. You can really go all out the rest of the way for this 241, and these are key free throws.
Yeah, you can see her aggression picking up on both ends.
Knocks down this one. 2-point game, 51-49. 240 and downward it ticks. What a championship game this has been. Zip pass inside. LaChapelle, too strong, but she draws contact. The question, who's this on?
Oh, wow.
It is
11.
number 4 on Cipriano. We said you kind of begin to ramp it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This can be the result.
Yeah, and she looks, and she's kind of holding up her hands like, hey, what happened? It wasn't me, didn't touch her.
She thinks, I didn't even make contact with the basketball. Thought at first glance that was just kind of the too strong delivery off the glass, but a critical 4th foul called on Cipriano. And at this point, 2:31 to go, probably you just leave her out there and see what happens if you're Kristen Carr. Your best players on the floor, as many of them as you can have, with Black already having fouled out. LaChapelle, see-through construction free throw will go. Making 1 of 2, and it's a 1-point game again.
Yep, 2.5 to play, JP. It comes down to this. You see who wants the ball in her hands, Allie Smith. And she's looking to probe that offense. Oh, and perfect block there.
LaChapelle there to swat it away. Look who takes it to the hoop. Taylor with a bucket. Just like that, the Stallions are back out front with 2 and change to play.
Oh, wow. She steps in from the logo, and it is a 3. My goodness.
No worries for the sophomore, Lydia Cipriano, a Paramount Kia of Asheville 3, to reassert the Knights' advantage, and timeout is going to be taken by the Stallions. Still out there with those 4 fouls, and as timely a shot as you'll ever see from a sophomore right here.
You gotta love it, JP. She's on the F. She's at the logo. She takes a couple of dribbles to the left, and she drills the 3. Nice bucket.
You can see why Lydia Cipriano is such a key contributor for this squad and must stay on the floor for North Lincoln. She has put the Knights out front. You talk about the timing of that shot.
Yeah.
The old adage about ice in the veins on display.
She stepped right in, JP, and I believe she hit our first 3 of the game for North Lincoln, and probably don't think it's going to be the last one, but she stepped right into it.
You talk about layups and free throws, and you mentioned 3-pointers along the way. North Lincoln 8 made 3s to just 2 for Southeast Alamance. North Lincoln 14 of 16 from the charity stripe. If it comes down to that, now that they hold the lead, and this team here for the first time ever representing Lincoln County, first time Lincoln County's been represented since the 1980s, we were told, coming into today. And they are poised to perhaps take the crown away from the reigning champions and hand the Stallions what would be their first loss of the year. A lot of basketball left first, though. And Nevaeh Faust, a little too strong. That rolled off of a Stallion, but it's saved by Paylor. And it's back in her hands now. 1:28 to play.
Yeah, you're going to go at Cipriano. Oh, and there's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul off the ball in the heart of the paint. And Birch back to her feet after she hit the deck, and that's a huge call to flip it the other way.
Oh, that is big, JP, because they had momentum going at them. And not sure that was, who was that on? Number 15, I believe.
Looked like McKeever, who was working through the lane, and the contact with Birch sending her to the deck, and just like that, 1:23 to play now. Walk us through the strategy. 2-point advantage and the basketball for the Knights.
Well, still for the Knights, JP, you're going to control the tempo. Right now you have the lead, right? I am going to take time. I'm going to make sure I have the best shot that I could possibly get right now. I'm going to probe and attack on the inside and look for Cipriano hitting the 3.
And for Southeast Alamance, as you look right into their huddle right now, what's the conversation
Got to
like?
be aggressive. Get the ball in Paylor's hands. Attack the paint. You have to attack the paint. And Faust only has, I think she has 3 fouls with 1:23 to go. throw that out the door. You have to be aggressive on the inside.
Well, and you think about the foul scenario, this is a North Lincoln team that has made 14 of 16 free throws in the contest. So if it comes to the point of fouling for the Stallions, that may be tough sledding with the way this team shoots free throws.
Yeah, because they've almost been perfect, JP, and it wasn't until the second half that they missed their first free throw. And for the Stallions, they're 10 of 17. That's 7 free points right now that would make the huge difference in this game.
Cipriano, the only one to miss a free throw, missed a couple in each of her trips to the line, has made a couple as well. And you know she can hit from the perimeter and distance. She just made that NBA three a little bit ago.
That's right. From the logo of Wake Forest.
1:23 to play. We got a Knights team looking for a first crown, trying to take it away from the reigning champion Stallions, who are trying to go perfect in 2025-2026. Here's Cipriano. Quickly ahead. Just off the glass by Grice. And a tie-up. Possession arrow is with the Stallions. Boy, with the lead, just over a minute to play, thought they had a bucket there to add to the total, and it was not to be.
Comes down to layups and free throws. And you know, your nerves get a little tight when it comes to the end game here, JP, and we're going to see who has the nerves of steel and ice water in their veins.
One bucket separating them, 1 minute to play. Taken away, Allie Smith with it. Disrupted, back in her hands. This would be huge. And the junior guard knocks it home. The three-time all-conference performer, Allie Smith, pushes the lead to 4.
Down to 40 seconds, JP, with a 4-point lead. You're going to have to force the issue right now if you're the Stallions.
Whirling dervish through the lane. It goes. And one coming for Rihanna Johnson. What a bucket for the sophomore.
Fouls on number 2, Reese Birch, but she was not to be denied. Averages 15 points a game, going right at them in the paint.
And that was a had-to-have-it moment for the unblemished Stallions. Unbeaten on the year at 29-0, but perfection in jeopardy. And the see-through construction free-through off the mark. 2-point game. Cipriano, half minute to go. Out of her hands, into the grasp of the Stallions. Paylor, high off the glass, and we're tied with 20 seconds to play.
My, you gotta love it, JP. This is what these moments are made of. Somebody is gonna remember this for the rest of their lives and the big plays that they made. Great defense there by number 23, Rihanna Johnson, who is a 15-point average player, and she comes down right through the middle of the defense. Shania Paylor making her presence felt and known in this championship game.
56 all. It was a very good year. And there are 19 seconds remaining, 19.7 to settle this one in Winston. What a championship contest this has been. Let's reset it for you. Southeast Alamance won the title on this floor a year ago. They rolled through this campaign 29-0. These young ladies on your screen right now, under the direction of Coach Amy Surratt, came into today looking for a perfect campaign. For North Lincoln's Knights, Kristen Carr's team, 8-21 on the year. Rolling through all the powers, the 10 seed, the 7 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 5 seed in the state tournament to get here. And they're trying for a first ever crown. And there's a look at the reigning coach of the year in Mid-Carolina. And you see her counterpart, Kristen Carr, trying to put together a memorable championship run and bring a first title back to the land of the Knights. 19 seconds.
Pressure defense right now. Got to get it across. 10 seconds. You got to cross the time marker. She's all the way to the bucket and missed it. But you see here that the big-time players step up in big-time opportunities to make big-time plays.
Contact, whistle, and Cipriano to the line. Lydia Cipriano, who hit the big 3 moments ago to put her team out front, will go to the charity stripe in an effort to forge the Knights out front again. Whew. You see both teams bonus, so anything that you get whistle-wise. The possession arrow is with the Knights, so should there be a tie-up, it would stay with North Lincoln if we reset with 9 seconds to play.
And you got 2 from the charity stripe. You got to hit these, and you have to get back on defense. You know that Paylor is going to get that ball. Either it's going to be off the glass or it's going to be from the baseline, and she is going to press the issue. So you got to hit these 2 free throws right now. They've only missed 2 all night. Got to hit these 2 free throws, JP, and then get back on defense and force them into a ridiculously long shot.
Is it going to be a perfect season for the Stallions or a playoff run to remember for the Knights? Southeast Alamance and North Lincoln entertaining the fans here at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum on this championship Saturday in the Old North State, right down to the wire.
It comes down to 9.4 seconds. 2 free throws and a possession to see if you can win the state championship.
As we said, 56 on the scoreboard both ways. It was a very good year. For which of these 2 teams will it be? A year to remember for a lifetime. Cipriano with the see-through construction free throws. Nothing but the twine for Lydia Cipriano.
Nothing to it. She steps right up and sinks it.
That gives the lead to the Knights of North Lincoln. Knocks them both through. On target, 9 seconds for the Stallions. Tapped away and out of bounds. Wow. Grice jumped the pass, and that might have been the ball game if she'd just been able to reel it in. What a job defensively for Addison Grice.
Yeah, great defense, and you see that she just ran through the passing lane, almost able to grab it. But they're going to try and keep the ball out of Paylor's hands because she is the playmaker.
6 seconds and timeout being called for. As Kristen Carr wants to give her team one final challenge about what they must do in order to make this lead stick. Walk us through the scenario with 6.1 to play.
Yeah, you got to be playing for overtime, JP. I mean, you know, you want to force the ball inside. You want to dribble drive if you can. Have the ball in Paylor's hands. If you got nothing there, you have your best three-point shooter standing on that line with your hands ready to take that shot.
Knights are going to break the huddle with 6.1 to go now. Knights are going to break the huddle, looking for a first championship in school history.
You think about what this championship is going to mean to the community, whoever wins it.
Stallions to inbound, 1 possession to preserve perfection.
Guess who's going to get this one? You're going to try and get it to Paylor. Oh boy.
Tossed aside, gathered up by Allie Smith, and she slams the basketball down with time remaining. A whistle perhaps before that took place.
Wow.
I thought for a moment that she thought time had ran out.
Yeah, I think she did.
And slammed the basketball down, but simultaneously the foul was called because contact was there. Maybe she heard the whistle in all the chaos of the moment, because watch her reaction. Yep, she's fouled.
Oh, she's fouled,
and she knows it.
Bingo,
so
okay.
She heard the whistle, though nobody else in Lawrence Joel could. Right. And a trip to the line. You saw that uh-oh moment on her face, though,
Bingo.
Immediately after she turned loose of the basketball.
Oh, wow. That's
She's
huge.
trying to salt it away from the line. That will give the Stallions a chance now for a heave, as it can only be a 3-point lead. Here's the critical second see-through construction free throw. She got it. Lead is 3. 1 heave to preserve perfection.
And that's it.
North Lincoln's Knights, on an inaugural trip to the state championship environment, will unseat the champs on a memorable playoff run in which they welcomed all comers and became 5A women's basketball champions in North Carolina.
Fantastic. Congratulations to North Lincoln Knights. What this means for all the moms, the dads, the teachers, that whole community, the trainers, the assistant coaches, everybody in there that got these young ladies to this position.
It's going to be an hour and 20-minute journey to remember, that 76 miles southwest between here and North Lincoln. Kristen Carr's squad, they led early. They withstood the challenge from the unbeaten Stallions, the defending champions, at the intermission throughout the third, and they outscored them 18-15 in the fourth quarter for a 59-56 win. We'll be back with a trophy presentation, all the superlatives after a classic in Winston-Salem that sees the Knights of North Lincoln claim the crown. North Lincoln avenges the buzzer beater loss from earlier in the year, and they take down what had been a perfect season for Southeast Alamance, grabbing the crown away from the champs. And in just her second season, Coach Carr joins us now. She's still shaking a little bit, and with good reason, Coach. It's been quite a journey to get here.
Yes, it absolutely has. These girls have worked really hard, and you know, we had a little bit of a setback in February that we weren't even sure we were going to be allowed to play in the playoffs, and so, you know, that lit a fire under them, and just to prove that they deserve to be here and that they are the best team. It's been amazing.
Well, you proved it in this run through the tournament. At some point, you'll be able to step back and take a look at all the teams you rolled through to get here, and then the champions on this day in an absolute classic. It was a memorable run.
Coach, congratulations. And I have to ask you, what's been your message to your team throughout the entire year?
Throughout the year, I mean, these girls work day in and day out. They love basketball, and they love each other, and the chemistry that they play with is, you know, phenomenal. They believe in each other, and throughout this season, you know, we were rolling through teams and getting the wins that we needed, but when the going got tough, and it did, you know, there were a couple of emotional weeks, these girls pulled together and decided that they still wanted to stay on this journey, and they continue to work hard, and they've proven that they deserve to be here.
Well, congratulations. And what does this championship mean for your school and for your community?
This is the first girls basketball championship in 50 years in Lincoln County. So it's huge, and, you know, we're going to return most of our team. So we're hoping to continue the run and just build the program. You
took the words right out of our mouth. That was our next statement, is you've got so many young players who are going to be back that this may be the beginning of things to come.
We hope it certainly is the
Congratulations,
beginning.
Coach.
Thank you so much.
What a tremendous run through the state tournament, and a classic here today that her team wins 59-56.
Perfect.
We'll let you go, Coach. You've got
so
plenty of work to do and gathering up trophies and banners and everything to take back home.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congrats.
And that is Coach Kristen Carr, who leads her team to a title. And you could hear in her voice and certainly see in her demeanor just how much this meant personally to these girls, to that community. with everything that transpired this year, somehow they hung together, stayed focused, and turned it into a championship campaign.
Yeah, you talk about facing adversity, and she said they faced some adversity in February, and JP, it just speaks to the character of that community. It speaks to the character of the coaches, the teachers, the athletic trainers, the moms and dads that carried them to and from practice starting back over the summer. All the hard work, it pays off right here.
Well, for our Akeem and Ostapulo play of the game, we're going to show you a couple plays. They have something in common. They're both 3 balls. They're both from Cipriano. The late one, the difference maker in many ways in this contest. And she did good work at the line when it mattered most, and that's our Akeem and Ostapulo play of the game. Injured, don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800 all 7s. That's the play of the game. Cipriano. Remember, she weathered that foul trouble early, hung around, and made the key buckets late for this squad. And our player of the game, well, we're going to turn to her teammate who steadied this squad throughout, Allie Smith, the 3-time all-conference performer. It was the junior who led them, and Allie Smith is our selection for the Riddle and Riddle player of the game.
Yeah, she imposed her will on both sides of the ball, JP. Offensively and defensively, she's orchestrating the offense. She's making sure that folks are in the right position. She's dishing out assists. So congratulations to Allie Smith, who is our player to watch.
You talk about dishing out assists. Do you know how many? 7 of them. 16 points, 7 assists, also had a couple of blocks and stole the basketball away 5 times, not to mention pulled down 7 boards. That's quite a state championship moment. 31 points, or excuse me, 31 points between the two of them, Cipriano and Smith, 31 of the 59 that it took to get the job done. Well, awards being handed out as we speak. You saw Southeast Alamance, who put together quite a year, receive their medals, and now it's time for everybody on this roster to be congratulated. Addison Grice, you're going to see Reese Birch come out. We'll give you the rest of this roster. Allie Smith, who you just saw, Lydia Cipriano, number 11, Ashlyn Black, number 23, who did some good work before she departed. Lorelei Turbeville wears jersey number 4. Maddie Black is number 10. Anna Holder, number 13. Adeline King, number 14, one of the sophomores. Lauren Dexter, number 20. Madison Dexter, the twins, wearing jersey number 24. You're going to see all those contributors come out and receive these medals, E.
And you know, Coach Carr talked about this. There's one senior on this team. And so she didn't say it, but we could all feel it. She expects to be back here next year.
One senior on this team and not in that starting unit that we're talking about that is full of underclassmen who will be back to make their mark. Got to give plenty of credit to this coaching staff as well. You'll see them honored. The assistant, Tim Chandler. Of course, all those part of the traveling party. Abigail Church, the manager, the trainer, Addie McGinnis, Brad Burnett, who handles the stats, everybody that Kristen Carr has placed around her and her team in this critical year. It's a joint effort, and congratulations to the principal, Josh Van Esseltine, and the AD, Dennis Fry. It's an entire administrative, community, coaching staff effort when you pull off one of these.
It takes a village, right? And they will absolutely remember these times for the rest of their lives, and the stories will continue to get bigger and bigger, and the arena, everything that they remember, the bus ride, the meals, the conversations, the situations on the bench in the stands, they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives.
Well, and in a game like this, you don't have to make too many stories up.
That's right.
I mean, it was all there. This was an absolute classic. Remember, we were tied at the 5:40 mark at 45. We were tied at 56 with 20 seconds to play, and they end up with a 59-56 win, and here's the moment for Kristen Carr as she comes to receive her accolades, and that trophy is about to be handed to the North Lincoln Knights. She said a half a century the last time there was a girls basketball championship to celebrate in her county, and the very first time that North Lincoln has been able to get this done on this stage. Just remarkable. They got a banner to hang, a trophy to take back and put in that trophy case. The Knights of North Lincoln are your champions in 5A on the women's side in 2026. And, you know, Eric, we talked about it a little bit a moment ago, but they lost on a buzzer beater.
That's right.
Earlier in the year to this very Stallion squad that went unblemished. And she said, when we were off air, you know, I had visions of that in my mind when they had the basketball at the end. Now, we were up 3, you know, but I had visions of what they had done in that prior game. This time, her team stands tall when it matters most and claims the crown.
It certainly did, and she talked about that, and you can almost get night sweats when you think about it, because it's like not again. But her team stepped up, and those young ladies answered the call.
2 individuals, one from each side, that will receive an award for the good work they have done today. Of course, we should mention Madeline Grubb pregame receiving an award as a sportsmanship on one side, and it was Allie Smith receiving that sportsmanship award along with her good work on the North Lincoln side. And these standout performers going to be who you would expect. Shania Paylor going to be recognized, the senior, 1,000 points in her career, 500 plus assists in her career. 4 times she was selected all conference, and she's got another plaque to go with it from her work here today.
Yeah, good job. She scored 23 points today and had 8 rebounds. Hats off to Shania Paylor.
Allie Smith going to be selected as the outstanding performer on the North Lincoln Knights side of things. The junior ended the day with 16 points. We told you, 7 assists, 2 blocks, 5 steals, pulled down 7 boards. What did she not do for this team along the way? The junior. And I think you probably know who the MVP is going to be. The time she was on the floor, she made it count. And certainly her work down the stretch in those closing moments. From beyond the arc and at the free throw line, we'll have Lydia Cipriano work her way to center court to receive the MVP award.
Well deserved, well earned. She hit some big time 3-pointers, stepped up and just nailed some great free throws. So congratulations to Ms. Cipriano.
And again, that duo with 31 of the points for this squad today, not to mention all the good work on the boards and in disruption of a tremendous Stallions team. All right, E, let's put the finishing touches on this contest. First for the Stallions, a tremendous year. It ends with a little bit of heartbreak, but it was quite a run for the Stallions. A championship a year ago and a perfect regular season and through the tournament until this point.
Yeah, hats off to them, to the administrators, to the teachers, the parents that put the work in as well. A lot of times we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but parents and the community does. And so they did a great job. You know, you hate to get that one loss at the end of the year, but congrats to them.
And this is the team that handed it to them, that single loss. This is the team that stands supreme above all others. Take a look at that lifetime snapshot. The one finger in the air, it means we're champions in 2026. That's a celebration for the North Lincoln Knights. Boy, that's an image that'll last for generations in that community. All right, let's look at the final numbers brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Centers. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, relief without surgery or opioids. You were tracking the free throws. You're tracking the overall number of 59, and those are the final numbers for the day.
That's exactly right. That's the number that matters the most, that final score. Congrats to the North Lincoln Knights as they get back home and celebrate this victory.
Points in the paint. Brought to you by Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Raleigh's garage door experts. The Ready to Roll points in the paint, 36-16 in the Southeast Alamance direction. But you know that perimeter shooting and that free throw shooting made the difference in the end for this squad. Your final thoughts on what we witnessed in this 5A title game?
We started this championship Saturday off with a bang. This was a great game played by 2 awesome teams. They did a fantastic job, great communities, and they have nothing to hang their head about being Alamance. They played an outstanding game, 29-1 on the season, and North Lincoln takes home the trophy, the Cinderella of the tournament.
That's why we play on championship Saturdays like this. Big thank you to all of our sponsors, Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, Air Experts Heating and Cooling, Tatum & Atkinson, See-Through Construction, Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, Akeem & Astapulo Law Firm, Paramount Auto, Tip Top Roofing, Original Grills, and Ingles Markets. This is, in fact, the big time. North Lincoln Knights were big time, rolling through the playoffs. They took down the 10, the 7, the 2, the 3, the 5. And on this day, the reigning champions who were previously perfect. 59-56 the final. As the championships going back to the land of the Knights, North Lincoln claims the crown in North Carolina.